At my wife's funeral, her sister asked, "Why did you bury her in the blue dress?" She asked for it, I said, multiple times before she died. It was one of her last requests. Skylar's face went pale. Ivy would never choose that dress. She hated it. What are you talking about? She loved that dress. No, she didn't. She only pretended to like it because I bought it for her birthday 5 years ago. Ivy was colorblind. She thought it was green. I stared at Skylar. Ivy wasn't colorblind. Yes, she was. Since birth, she couldn't tell blue from green or red from brown. My cousin Beth overheard us and came over. Yeah, Ivy's been colorblind forever. Remember she wore that brown dress to Christmas thinking it was red? I felt sick. 15 years of marriage and I never knew my wife was colorblind, but she definitely asked for the blue dress. I heard her say it clearly from her hospital bed. She asked for it 3 times, I said. I was there. When? Skylar asked. I thought back. Tuesday afternoon. You just left, actually. I was with her Tuesday morning. She could barely speak. Something felt wrong. I remembered the nurse mentioning Skylar brought Ivy special herbal tea every visit. Said it would help with the pain. That night, I went through Ivy's things. Her journal was on the nightstand, and I found an entry from 2 weeks before she died. Skylar keeps insisting I update my will. She's been so helpful, but it feels pushy. Ivy had changed her will 3 days before dying. Left everything to Skylar instead of splitting it like we'd planned. I'd thought it was the medication making her emotional about her sister. I called the hospital and talked to Ivy's nurse. Did my wife seem alert when she asked about the dress? Your wife? No, honey, she was pretty out of it those last days. Her sister had to speak for her mostly. Skylar spoke for her? Well, yes. She had power of attorney. She relayed what Ivy wanted. I drove to Skylar's house. She had a greenhouse in the back full of plants I didn't recognize. Took pictures of everything. Then I went to the police. I think my sister-in-law poisoned my wife. They didn't believe me at first. Ivy had been sick for months with something doctors couldn't diagnose, but I convinced them to test for toxins. 3 days later, they called. We found traces of oleander in her system. It's a plant poison that mimics certain illnesses. I showed them the pictures from Skylar's greenhouse. Oleander plants everywhere. They brought Skylar in for questioning. She denied everything until they mentioned the dress. How did you know Ivy wanted the blue dress? The detective asked. She told me. She loved that dress, but she was colorblind. She thought it was green. Skylar's face changed. She realized her mistake. Ivy would never have asked for something blue because she couldn't see blue. She would have asked for the green dress. You wrote that request, didn't you? I said, after she was too sick to speak. You forgot she was colorblind. The detective pulled out Skylar's financial records. $300,000 in debt from a failed business. Ivy's life insurance and savings would have covered it perfectly. You were poisoning her tea, I said. That's why you visited every day, to make sure she drank it. Skylar broke down and confessed. She'd been putting oleander in Ivy's tea for 4 months. Small doses that built up over time. Made it look like a mysterious illness. She'd gotten power of attorney when Ivy got too sick to make decisions. Changed the will and added the dress request to make everything seem normal. But she'd forgotten her sister couldn't see the color blue. When she asked me about the dress at the funeral, she was testing to see if anyone noticed her mistake. When I confirmed it was blue, she knew she'd messed up. The police arrested Skylar at the funeral reception. She got 40 years for first-degree murder. I buried Ivy the next week in a different dress, a green one she actually loved. Found out later she'd been saving money to surprise me with a trip to Ireland for our anniversary.